All right, let's see if we can build some quadratic equations. So you've got some experience with these quadratic equations that can have different numbers of solutions. And remember, a quadratic equation has an x squared in it. And we've learned how to factor quadratic equations. And if we can factor something so that it looks like x minus 4 times x plus 5 equals 0, then we can find the solutions really easy. What would those solutions be? Think about that. I think we're looking at x equals 4 because 4 makes that first part 0, and x equals negative 5 because it makes the second factor 0. So that has two solutions. Well, that's a real useful tool. This went from the factored form to the answers, or the solutions. Well, what if we take the solutions? Could we use that to build an equation? I think we can. Let's try that out. So we're going to go backwards here. The directions here, we want to find an equation for the given numbers that are the solutions. So here we got two solutions, all right? Well, we know it's a quadratic equation. That's not written there, but we'll assume that. And so if negative 4 is a solution, that tells us something about one of our factors. What does it have to be? Well, it's got to be x plus 4. Or technically, it's x minus this number. X minus negative 4 is positive 4. Okay? So that will make this 0. And if 3/5 is a solution, x minus 3/5 must be one of the factors. All right? So for each solution, there must be a factor that is x minus that solution. So now, if we can put this into standard form, directions didn't say it, but we're often going to want it in standard form. That means AX, and that looks like standard form. There you go. We're talking math here, not farming, so no standard forms. Okay, so standard form, let's distribute. We've got x squared minus 3/5 x. We're just kind of foiling out here, if you like to think of it that way. Distribution is a more general way. 4 times 3/5, that's going to be negative 12/5. We can clean it up here. X squared, let's see. 4 is 20 over 5. So this is 20/5 minus 3/5. 20/5 minus 3/5 is going to be 17/5. Just leave it as an improper fraction. That's all good. Equals 0. There's our standard form. So given the solutions, we can find the equation. Let's try with some radicals here. Should it work with those? Why not? Radicals are numbers 2. They got feelings, I think. So we've got x minus 3 square root of 2, and we got x minus this thing. Well, x minus negative is going to be x plus 3 square root of 2. All right? So we can distribute that there, do our foiling, because we're going to go for our standard form, or the standard form if you want. So we're going to distribute, and we end up with x squared plus 3 square root of 2 times x minus 3 square root of 2 times x. Those guys right there. And then here, we got to square this. It's going to be minus, and so I'm going to write this as 3 square root of 2 squared. We'll deal with that in a second. And I'm out of room, but that equals 0. We'll tuck it over here. How about that? All right. Swung my 0 around there. X squared. Well, these guys cancel because they're opposites. Positive 3 squared root of 2x and negative 3 squared root of 2x. Okay? And this one, we're going to square the 3. We square both of them. Square the 3. And then we squared that 3. We're going to square the square root of 2. Well, square root of 2 squared is just 2. And there's a little times in between those. So we've got 0 equals x squared minus 18. There's our solution. So it turns out nicely because these are opposite radicals, so we have kind of a difference of 2 squares going on here, and the middle terms cancel out. All right, how about if we throw some imaginary numbers in the mix? Well, it should work too. X minus the first 0, 3i. And then x minus negative 3i. Well, minus negative is going to make it a positive 3i. And, well, let's do the same steps. It worked last couple times, so let's see if it works this time. X times x is x squared. X times 3i, that's positive 3ix. And then a negative 3ix. And then a negative 3 times 3, that's 9. And I times I is I squared. Well, look at that. Those two cancel out. That's nice. So we can say that's gone. And remember what I squared is worth? Well, that's worth negative 1, right? So this is 9 times negative 1. Remember, I is the square root of negative 1. So if we square both sides of that, you're going to square here. All right, we get I squared is negative 1. Okay, so that I squared becomes negative 1 there. And now we can finish it off. That's x squared plus 9 equals 0. We built our equation out of our solutions. Last one here, how about 3 numbers? Well, it works with 3 numbers. It'll work with any number. We're just going to get a bigger equation. It's not going to be a quadratic here. So these are the solutions, also known as the zeros. So we're going to have x minus negative 1. Well, that's going to make plus 1, because this is the number that will make this factor 0. And then with 0, well, okay, that's an x, because what makes this 0? If you want, you could call this like, let's go, x minus 0. Why not? Make it match. Well, x minus 0 is just x. And here we've got x minus 2, because 2 will make that 0. So there's our factors. Let's rearrange a little bit. This is just x, so I'm going to put that out in front here. And we'll deal with that later. And now we're going to multiply, but let's just multiply these two first, and the x is just going to hang out and wait its turn. So we distribute x times x squared minus 2x plus 1x, and then the negative 2. We just foiled there. Foil that out. And now we've got to distribute this x here. Multiply that. Oh, well, let's clean it up first, actually. We can do a little cleanup. That's right there, going to be negative x. And so now we're going to distribute this thing, and like that. And we're going to end up with our final solution, which will be x times x squared, gives us x cubed. We have x times negative x. That's going to be x squared. And then we have x times the negative 2, and that will give us a minus 2x equals 0. So we get a cubic equation, third degree. So that's how we can build an equation out of the zeros. Just remember that every zero or every solution that we have matches with one factor, one set of parentheses, and that solution is the number that makes this parenthesis equal to 0. And then distribute, and you got it. So that's how you can build a quadratic equation, or actually even a cubic equation like we did at the end there, out of the solutions. And one more note before we wrap this up. This form right here, we didn't say it, but this is called factored form. So standard form is what we ended up with, where we have the descending order of the exponents. And this form is factored form. So the big idea we're going to, what we just did was we did factored form first, and then we took that into standard form. So go from factors to standard form. And that's all there is to it.